Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new video. Today I am going to be talking to you about something that I've wanted to do for a little while, the Nintendo Gamecube. Now, the Gamecube is something that I really love. It's something I collect for. I have got a collection of games up there, and it's just something I love collecting for, and I love finding things for. So I've got accessories from Gamecube. I've got some DK bongos over there. I've got my Wavebird controller. I do like my Gamecube accessories, but there was one that I always wanted. There was one that came out for the Gamecube that I always wanted and never could afford at the time, and had been looking online for this for quite some time. And obviously, if you read the title of the video, you'll know what it is. It's a Nintendo Gamecube Gameboy Player. Now, like I said, it took me a long time to purchase one of these. Now, they can be a little on the pricey side, and the difficulty is with these is that you need two things to make them work. You need the Game Boy Player and you need the Game Boy Disc. Now, the disc is the most important thing to get hold of for whatever reason. Whether they've been hard to get hold of over the years, people have lost them, they can't find them. The disc is the hardest thing to get. If you don't have the right disc, it won't work. If you don't have the disc, it will not work. If you just have a base unit and pop it onto your GameCube and put a Game Boy in, it's not going to work. You do need the disc to make sure these run, and it's very hard to get the right disc. And I had to double check and triple check to make sure that the one I was buying, it was a bundle, so it was both of them together, as it would have been. It was the Game Boy Player and the disc, and I checked the pictures of the disc 4, 5, 6, 7 times before I purchased. I made sure it was a PAL disc, I made sure it was a PAL box. I just made sure that I had the correct hardware and the correct software for this. So if you are going to get one of these, it's very important to make sure that you do that. And again, I will reiterate this one more time. You need the player and the disc. If you do not have both, it will not work. If you do not have the disc and the correct disc for your region, this will not work. So make sure you get both. So I found this auction very recently, and I managed to purchase this, the whole thing together, the disc and the player, for £60, which I know might sound quite a lot to some people, but the disc on its own, in a case, is going, I think, for like £30 upwards. So the disc on its own is quite expensive. I think the players themselves, they don't go for as much. I think they're about £25. If you have a look, but that's just the player on its own. So, you know, getting the whole thing together, around £60, I was quite happy to pay that. So I'll just show you the player. It is actually already connected to my GameCube. So here's my black Nintendo GameCube, and that's the top of it. Then if I just turn it around, obviously you've got the ports there, you've got the memory card slots, and the GameCube usually ends here, where this sticker is here. That's where the GameCube usually ends. See this extra chunk on the bottom? This is the Game Boy Player. So there's a slot there for the Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced, and Game Boy Color games to go into. I'll talk about games later. All Game Boy games do work on this. And there's a port there for a transfer cable as well. If you have a transfer cable with a SP, you can also use it to connect that up as well. And now if I turn it around to the bottom, so how this actually attaches on, it looks quite complicated, but actually really isn't. There are two plastic clips on the bottom here. Two plastic clips that have just got pull tags. Basically, you take off both plastic clips at the bottom. Now, when you take those plastic clips off, put them somewhere safe. Whatever you do not lose them, because if you want to take the Game Boy Player off in the future, you don't want to lose those tags, because they go back on the bottom. They're not essential, but aesthetically they're nice to get it back to original condition, and nice to have your GameCube back complete as it should be. I have put mine in a safe place, so I do not lose them if I take this off in the future. And if I want to obviously do something different with this in the future or pack it away, I know where the clips are, and I know that they're safe. So basically, this basically slots on in place of where the clips were, and then these two screws here, this one here and this one here, just tighten them up. I just did them up finger tight. It's on here perfectly. It's not going anywhere. It's on very solidly, and fits really, really well. So once that's done and you're happy with that, connect it up to your TV. Put in the power cable and put in the AV cables. Make sure everything is connected. Then turn the console on. And now it's very important that you put the disc in to the console. Now, like I said, without the disc, it will not work. And here is the disc itself. So there's the box, Game Boy Player disc, and there's the back of it. Show you the back as well. I'll just show you the inside. Now, it does come with its original leaflet as well, which was quite cool. And there's the disc there as well. And that's a PAL disc. I've got that. I'll just get that to focus, hopefully. You can see that. There we go. So it's a PAL disc. Now, I'll just show you the information leaflet. Basically, it's just a Nintendo GameCube advert, but it's quite cool. Nice little leaflet there. About some GameCube games, which I thought was really cool. Just thought that was really, really nice. So that was really cool. Just have that in there, and then here's the actual disc itself. I'll just pop that out. Standard GameCube disc. As I said, the Game Boy Player. There we go. So there's the disc itself. And basically, you pop the disc in, and once the disc is in, you then pop in a cartridge, and it should then load up, and away you go. We did have a couple of issues with a couple of games. Obviously, if they're all cartridges, blow in the cartridge a little bit, then pop it in, then it would work. So not everything worked first time, but with a bit of just, like I said, a quick blow in the cartridge, as people my age will know, it works wonders. Pop it back in. Job done. So the different types of Game Boy games, I did touch on this earlier, that can go in there. Now, I was quite surprised because I know Nintendo are obviously quite specific about you needing to have the correct disc. So if you've got a PAL machine, you need a PAL disc. Otherwise, this won't work. And I thought this would be the same for the actual Game Boy games itself. So I thought if you try a, say, Japanese Game Boy game in this Game Boy Player with a PAL disc, it's not going to work because it's a Japanese game running on a PAL system. However, my brother has a Pokemon game, original Game Boy game, and we tried that, and lo and behold, it worked. We tried another Japanese game. He's got a Japanese version of Wario. We tried that. That also worked. So with the Japanese games that we tried, they were absolutely fine. Don't have any American ones to try. But on a PAL system, with a PAL disc, all Game Boy games were working. So we used the original Game Boy, which is Tetris there, obviously a classic. I put this in, was actually playing again and got so addicted, which it just shows how good this game is actually, and how again it's still going strong now on the Switch. So we used the original Game Boy games. Then we used the Game Boy Color. So there's Matt Hoffman, just as a Game Boy Color game. We did use Mario Golf as well, and then lastly there we've got one of the Sonic games. I think it's like Sonic Advanced. And we tried that, and it looks incredible as well. And it's such a leap from the colour to the advanced. When you sort of play the games through, you don't realise, or I didn't realise at the time, how much of a leap there was between original Game Boy to Game Boy Color, then on to Game Boy Advance. Really, really was such a leap forward. And, you know, I don't think actually Nintendo get enough credit for that, because I think in the world of handhelds, that Game Boy was the king. And Game Boy was the handheld for a number of years. I know Sony came along later, and then obviously Nintendo swapped over to the 3DS, and now it's obviously with the Switch, which is a hybrid console. But I did just want to show you as well, I have actually got my original Game Boy SP. Now, it is absolutely battered. There's the inside. There's the back. This does still work. I don't think I've got any battery in it on the... No battery at the moment. But this does still work. It works absolutely fine. Like I said, you've got the ports on the back there. And you've got the little L and R buttons, which still feel fantastic, which which is really cool. But the front there, like I said, is a bit scratched and battered, but I use this a lot. I used to take it on holiday with me, I used to take it everywhere. What a lovely piece of design this SP is, and just a really, really cool little console. I have got a game in it, and as you know, I'm a wrestling fan, so we'll show you this. This is WrestleMania 18. I haven't played this in a while, but I did plug it in to see if it worked, and the music was hilarious. The music on that game was absolutely hilarious. To go back and look at it, yeah, the graphics weren't really the best. It was what it was, but it wasn't one of the most fantastic wrestling games. But I won't get into that. Maybe we'll do some handheld wrestling games in the future. So, what were my overall thoughts on the Game Boy Player? To be honest, I was extremely pleased. I thought it was really, really good. It was easy to set up. The discs worked perfectly. Like I said, the games, you do have to give them a little bit of a blow before you pop them in. If they don't come up first time, it might sort of not come up first time. You just hit the Z button, and it says reload cart or change cart. Click on that, and it says now change cart over. You just take it out, give it a blow, pop it in. That was the only real problem I had. And that wasn't maybe even the player's fault. That was just maybe the games, because they've been sat around in different cases and in this room for a little while. So you know, that might just be something with the games themselves. So I encountered no real issues with it at all. The Wavebird controller worked with it fine. I used my wired black controller, which goes with this. That worked fine as well. I had no issues with it whatsoever. And to me, a fantastic little piece of kit. If you've got a Game Boy collection that you want to play at home, or you don't maybe have a Game Boy anymore, but you've got some games lying around you still like to play, and you've really got a passion for it, like I said, they are a little on the expensive side. That is the only drawback, the only down point that I would give this. They are a little expensive. It would be nice if they were a bit cheaper, and they weren't obviously as expensive because of that player. I think, to be honest, had it not been for the disc, they wouldn't be that expensive. But that's the only drawback, is that it is a little bit of money. But like I say, it just enhances the GameCube even more, and I'm even more of a fan of the GameCube now than I was before. And the only thing I feel bad about is I didn't get one back in the day. I'd love to. This would have been even. It would have been even more incredible back in the day. But it's so cool now to see it on a big 50-inch TV that you know, I can connect up and play these games now, and they still have you know, I still have the ability to play these, and these games still have purpose now as well. So if you want to get one of these, do check out eBay, do check out things online, but as I said before, do check it all very, very carefully. Make sure that you're 100% happy. Do look at the pictures in detail. Do look at all the item description, and obviously do study things very, very carefully before purchasing. But I will leave it there for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed looking at the GameCube player. Hope you've maybe learned something if you haven't known much about it before, and I hope if you do go and get one in the future, you have as much of a positive experience as I have, because like I said, I keep smiling about it because I've just been so chuffed, so pleased with that little Game Boy player. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, bit of a different video today. Hopefully come back with some more content again coming up in the near future. Everyone look after yourselves, stay still, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.